What does going to the moon have to do with family business? A lot, according to Randel Carlock and Keng, the authors of a new book arguing that planning a space venture has a lot in common with how successful family businesses plan ambitious futures. Randel, Keng, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Randel, why a family business on the moon? How is this a departure from the regular, normal family business strategy book?
Well, it's completely different than a normal strategy book. For example, I've never seen a strategy book with paper airplanes in it. That's part of it, because the book is about having fun and creating an exciting experience for your family. But going a little deeper, what's really serious about the book is that most family business books, most academic books, are written by academics for academics. This book is written for families, and it's not talking about other families. It makes each family a live case study. All of the activities help them communicate and learn to work together. That's the big difference.
Keng, can you explain the new approach to this book and its design?
Business planning is accepted and demonstrated, but still a lot of families don't address the family plans because they want to avoid confrontation, and they want to avoid potentially, explosive conversations. So it is a daunting task, to talk about family plans, and so it's often avoided or ignored. The field book is designed to be approachable and engaging and interesting. We found this amazing artist, Ruth Gwiley, and she publishes her art regularly in New Yorker, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and she created over 70 original illustrations. And these illustrations are designed to stimulate families to not only see the ideas, but want to see the ideas. So it accelerates learning. That's what we're trying to do. We also injected engaging titles in the book. So for example, do you really want to go to the moon? It's about assessing your family's commitment. And then we have Check Your Rocket Fuel, which is about assessing the family's financial capital. So we hope that all these elements create an environment that the family wants to learn and facilitates learning and sharing ideas.
What is the parallel planning process, and why does this matter to family businesses?
Well, the parallel planning process is a model that John Ward and I developed in our first book on family business strategy. And the reality is it didn't come from either of us. It came from a consulting project I was working on at Cargill, where I saw the family business struggling about the relationship between two families, the in-laws and the founding Cargill family. And what they had figured out was we have to plan for the family just as hard as we have to plan for the business, because they had the business that was a world-leading business, but there were always struggles in the family. And so from their idea, John and I developed the parallel planning process. And it is very simple. It says that you have to plan for 5 things: your values, your vision, your strategy, your investment, and your governance. But what makes it different is you have to do that for the family and for the business, and they have to be aligned. Because what we find too often is families that only plan outstandingly for the business, their family drags them down. And I can talk about a family, a very famous French family, Lacoste, an outstanding family business. They planned brilliantly for the business, and they really were a fashion leader, and they still are. But the family had disputes, and the dispute was so bad that one of the daughters fired her father in his 70s, the executive chairman, with the board's help, and then he forced the sale of the company. And so the Lacoste family does not own one of the most iconic family businesses in France. And it's because they didn't plan for the family. What we find is that most family businesses, particularly the type that come to INSEAD or the more sophisticated families, they've got good business plans. In fact, often when we do the training program, we will spend a half a day on the business and we'll spend 4.5 days on the family, because that's what they want. They want to talk about their communications. They want to talk about their family decision making. They want to talk about their shared values and what's important to them as people. They know how to do a balance sheet. They come to us because they want to do the human balance sheet.
How does this new book address succession planning? How should it be planned for as part of this exercise?
We developed 4 assessments to look at the different key roles in a family business. And we start with just family members. What does it take to be an informed family member? The second one is very logical, and that is the next generation. So we have a complete assessment for the next generation to look at what are the skills and the thoughts that they need to have. The last 2 are the executive assessment, where we look at the executive role, and that would be very much like would be taught in any business school. And then the last one is the director's role. Family businesses need governance more than anyone else because of the overlap of the family and business systems. But we also do some other things to help the family, where we just have a simple little letter where the family members can each express their interest in what they'd like to be considered for in the business. And the reason why is for a tool that we've developed called a talent bank. A family business talent bank is just an inventory of all the key roles: directors, executives, family council, family philanthropy, where they need people. And each family member is allowed to suggest what places they would like to be involved.
Keng, can you give us an example of one of the activities in this book?
Yes, we have 24 tried and tested activities in the book. And one of them is based on the first step of the parallel planning process, and it's finding the shared values of the family. And this is a simple exercise. It's based on card sorting. It's called the values cards. So we distilled like 200 over value words into 51 value cards. And we have simple instructions in here to help the family members at first individually rank their family values. And then as a family group, come together and identify the family's values. And that drives, the rest of the activities in the book.
So what are the most important tips for the journey?
What we find in really successful family businesses is they're successful in financial performance, but almost without exception, they contribute and do things way, way beyond that have no monetary value to the family. And it's their purpose. It's their reason for existing. Think about your family, but think about your purpose. Why does your family exist beyond this business and beyond your money?
Keng?
Well, I think that the journey is going to be fraught with difficulties, and the most powerful tool that the families have is to keep communicating with each other and encourage participation in the activities. And we have lots of little tips along the way, because we know that they're going to get stuck. It's difficult topics, it's complex, it's a lot of emotions, and the only thing they can do is to just stay communicating and stay engaged.
Thank you, Keng. Thank you, Randel, for being here today.
Thank
Rachel,
you for having us.
It was great fun.